The human body is designed for pleasure throughout its entire lifespan. That capacity for joy, connection, and intimacy doesn't have an expiration date. Yet, for so many of us, as we move through our 60s, 70s, and beyond, a quiet disconnect can begin to settle in. It's not a dramatic event, but a slow fade. A subtle feeling that the language of our own bodies has changed, and no one gave us the new dictionary. It's the silence that hangs in the air after a doctor's appointment where you wanted to ask, but didn't. It's the quiet frustration of feeling like a stranger in your own skin. I want you to know that feeling is valid, it is common, and it is not the end of the story. I'm Dr. Emily Hart, and for over 15 years, I've had the privilege of sitting with women just like you. My passion is to help you navigate the changes in your body not with fear, but with clarity and compassion. This space is our time to have the conversations that are too often rushed or dismissed. If these are the kinds of conversations you've been looking for, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And I truly mean it when I say we are building a community here. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I love knowing where this circle of strong, wise women comes together from all around the world. Today, we're going to talk about something incredibly important: your intimate life after menopause. Your gynecologist is a wonderful, vital part of your health team, but in a standard 15-minute visit, there simply isn't time to go deep. So today we're going to explore the 3 key aspects of postmenopausal intimacy that are often overlooked. And I promise to do it with honesty, warmth, and practical solutions that honor the woman you are today. Let's start with the most common concern I hear: desire. So many women come to me and say, "Dr. Emily, the fire is out. I love my partner, but I just don't have that spark anymore." They feel broken or guilty. This is where we must start, by completely reframing our understanding of libido. In our younger years, desire for many of us was spontaneous. It felt like a switch that could just be flipped on, often driven by the powerful hormonal cycles of our fertile years. But after menopause, our bodies shift to a different, more nuanced system: responsive desire. I remember a patient of mine, let's call her Janet. At 68, she and her husband had a beautiful life. They traveled, they gardened, they doted on their grandkids. But intimacy had become a source of deep anxiety for her. She told me with tears in her eyes, "He's still interested, but I never am. I never think of it first. I feel like I'm failing him and failing myself." Janet was judging her 68-year-old body by the standards of her 28-year-old body. She was waiting for a lightning strike of spontaneous desire that was no longer her body's primary way of communicating. Here is the simple science of it. Spontaneous desire is like a gas stovetop. Turn the knob and poof, you have a flame. It's fast and powerful. Responsive desire is more like a beautiful cast iron pot. It doesn't ignite instantly. It needs to be placed on a gentle heat source. It needs warmth, time, and stimulation to slowly come to temperature. That gentle heat source isn't a rush of hormones anymore. It's connection. It's touch. It's emotional intimacy. Your desire hasn't vanished. It's just waiting for a different kind of invitation. So the natural, actionable solution here is to stop waiting for desire to strike, and instead, start creating the conditions for it to emerge. I call this focusing on sensation before desire. This means scheduling time for non-demanding physical connection. Perhaps it's a 20-minute foot rub while you watch the evening news. Maybe it's simply lying in bed together, holding each other, with no expectation that it will lead anywhere else. The goal is not sex. The goal is to refamiliarize your body with safe, pleasurable touch. When you take the pressure of performance off the table, you give your nervous system permission to relax. And in that state of relaxation and gentle sensation, you may be surprised to find a quiet warmth beginning to build. You haven't failed. Your body's language has simply become more poetic, and it's inviting you to slow down and listen. Now let's talk about the second piece of this puzzle, which can be a major barrier to intimacy: physical discomfort, specifically vaginal dryness. This is not a matter of failure or a lack of arousal. It is a direct physiological result of decreased estrogen, and it can turn something that should be pleasurable into something you dread. I think of Maria, a vibrant 72-year-old patient. She was the head of her book club, hiked every weekend, and had an infectious laugh. But she confessed to me that she hadn't been intimate with her husband in over a year. She said, "It just hurts, Emily. I've tried those drugstore lubricants. They're cold, they're sticky, and frankly, they make me feel like a medical patient." The experience felt clinical and messy, stripping away all the sensuality she craved. Her story broke my heart because it is so incredibly common. The science is straightforward. Estrogen is like a master gardener for our pelvic tissues. It keeps the vaginal walls thick, elastic, and naturally moist. When estrogen levels decline, it's like a long dry season for that garden. The soil your tissues can become thin, dry, and fragile. This is often called vaginal atrophy, but I prefer the term genitourinary syndrome of menopause, or GSM, because it affects urinary health too. The key thing to understand is that this is about tissue health, not just about sex. A healthy, moisturized vaginal canal is less prone to irritation and infections. The solution here is twofold. We must water the garden from the outside in and nourish it from the inside out. Externally, it's time to upgrade from those basic lubricants. For intercourse, a high-quality, long-lasting silicone-based lubricant is often a game-changer. It doesn't get absorbed or dry out quickly, providing a silky, comfortable glide that can make all the difference. But even more important is a daily moisturizer. Just like you moisturize your face every day, using a dedicated, hormone-free vaginal moisturizer with ingredients like hyaluronic acid can restore daily comfort and tissue health. This is proactive care. You apply it 2 or 3 times a week, not just when you plan to be intimate. Internally, there is fascinating research on certain natural oils. One that is particularly well studied is sea buckthorn oil, taken orally as a supplement. It's rich in omega-7 fatty acids, which are known to support mucous membranes throughout the body, from our eyes and mouth to the vaginal lining. Of course, you should always talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement. But the tangible benefit is a body that feels comfortable, supple, and ready for pleasure, not just during intimacy, but every single day. You have the power to actively nourish your body and reclaim that physical comfort. This is an act of profound self-care. This brings us to our third and perhaps most powerful shift. It's the one that happens not in our bodies, but in our minds and hearts. It's about the psychological freedom that can lead to the most profound and connected sex of your entire life. For decades, our ideas about sex were often shaped by external pressures, by media, by a focus on procreation, or by a goal of performance. Now, in this chapter of life, you have the opportunity to shed all of that and redefine intimacy on your own terms. Let me tell you about Susan. She was 65 and had been with her husband for over 40 years. She told me, "We have more time than ever now that we're both retired, but I feel more pressure than ever. I'm so in my head worrying about how my body looks, or if I'm taking too long, that I can't even be present." Susan was still playing by an old rule book, one that said sex had to look a certain way and follow a certain script, a script that no longer served her. Our brain is our largest and most important sexual organ. When we are stressed, anxious, or feeling self-conscious, our body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is the enemy of arousal. It puts our body in a state of fight or flight, which is the exact opposite of the rest and digest state required for relaxation and pleasure. Conversely, when we feel safe, trusted, loved, and emotionally connected, our brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Oxytocin is the key that unlocks arousal and deepens connection in our mature years. Your psychological state is not just an add-on, it is the main event. The solution is to consciously shift your focus from performance to pleasure. This is your time to get curious. What feels good to your body now? Maybe it's not what felt good at 30, and that is perfectly okay. Broaden your definition of intimacy. It doesn't have to be a linear path toward one specific act. Intimacy can be a long sensual massage. It can be exploring each other with your hands. It can be the deep, soulful eye contact you share with the partner you have known for a lifetime. It is about presence over performance. The most important tool here is communication. It may feel vulnerable, but talking with your partner about what you desire, what feels good, and what you're curious about is the ultimate act of connection. The benefit is a release from pressure and the discovery of a richer, more expansive world of pleasure. You have earned the wisdom to know what you want and the freedom to finally ask for it. This isn't about recapturing your youth. It's about stepping into the full power of your maturity. So let's bring this all together. Your body has not forgotten how to feel pleasure. Its language has simply evolved. It is asking you to listen more closely, to trade spontaneity for intention, to nourish its tissues with care, and to free your mind from outdated expectations. This journey is not about fixing something that is broken. It is about tending to the beautiful, wise body that has carried you through a lifetime of experiences. Your pleasure matters. Your comfort is a priority. And your capacity for deep, soulful connection is greater now than ever before. You are not invisible, and your story is not over. It is simply asking for a new, more compassionate chapter to be written. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If one part of our conversation today resonated with you, I would love for you to share it in the comments below. Reading your stories and insights is what makes this community so special. Until next time, be well and be wonderfully, unapologetically kind to yourself.